Hi, and welcome back to Alt Baking Bootcamp. I'm Rigden, nutritionist, chef, and the founder of Rasa. Today, we're gonna be recreating a classic cookie recipe, the snickerdoodle. Everyone loves the snickerdoodle for its chewy texture and that sugar, cinnamon coating. And today, we're going to be recreating this classic, but we're gonna make it gluten-free in true Alt Baking Bootcamp style, and we're also gonna be cutting back on the sugar. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, like you do in all cookie recipes, is start by creaming the butter and the sugar. And yes, you heard that correctly. We are using real butter in this recipe. I love butter because it's just a really high quality, stable cooking fat. And I just recommend buying organic pasture-raised butter when you can. So this recipe calls for half a cup, which is 1 whole stick. And I know that that seems like a lot, but this makes like 16 cookies. So it's not that much when you break it down per cookie. All right, and you wanna make sure that the butter is soft. And then we're using half a cup of sugar. So the original snickerdoodle recipe would call for a cup or more of cane sugar. And in this recipe, we're gonna be using half a cup of coconut sugar. I really like the coconut sugar in this recipe because it gives it a very deep, rich flavor, almost like caramel. And I feel like it really accentuates the cinnamon that we're gonna be dusting on top. So we're just gonna cream this together. All right, that looks good to me. So now I'm just gonna crack a whole egg into the bowl. And I'm gonna add the vanilla extract. All right, so we've got the butter, the sugar, the egg, and the vanilla all mixed in, and now I'm gonna mix together my dry ingredients. So we've got 1.5 cups of gluten-free all-purpose flour. And then we've got 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, which is a key snickerdoodle ingredient, and some salt. So I'm just gonna mix this together, and then I'm gonna slowly incorporate the dry ingredients into the wet. One thing I really like about this cookie dough recipe is that you don't need to chill it. All right, this dough is looking pretty good. So I'm gonna give this a good scrape, and then we can start rolling them out. Okay, so now we're gonna roll the dough, create the sugar cinnamon mixture that is going to coat each cookie, and put them on a baking sheet. Okay, so in this bowl, we are going to be putting 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix it together. All right, so I've got a shallow bowl here so that it's easy to roll the cookies around. So I'm just gonna take a spoon and I'm gonna roll out about golf ball sized pieces of dough. And then you just give it a good coat here and all that cinnamon, coconut sugar goodness. And we're just gonna repeat this until we've used all the cookie dough. And now we're just gonna use a little cup to flatten them. And there we go. And now we're just gonna throw these into the oven, which is already preheated to 375 degrees, and we're gonna bake them for about 10 to 12 minutes or until they're nice, golden, and fragrant. All right, so I took these out of the oven a few minutes ago, and now they are pretty much cooled, and now we're ready to try them. So they look good, and you can see, you know, that kind of speckled signature snickerdoodle speckle with the cinnamon and the sugar. These are so good. I cannot wait for you to try them. Thank you so much for joining me today for this episode of Alt Baking Bootcamp. If you want to see more Alt Baking Bootcamp, please make sure to subscribe to Well+Good's YouTube page below and let us know how your cookies turned out or if you have other recipes you'd like to see us test. I'm Rigden, and I'll see you next time.